funky.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Garrett, and today I'm going to guys a new tutorial on a Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered Twitter header. This is a really easy and awesome Twitter header to learn to do. You're also going to learn a lot of cool things on how to create some cool text and also how to blend stuff together. So what you're going to need for this tutorial actually is thefont.com. It's a website. You guys are going to need the font Impact and also Bank Gothic. You're also going to need, your own Call of Duty reference photo that you want to use. I'm using the kind of standard Modern Warfare Remastered wallpaper, and also I'm going to be using the Obey pack for a couple of stocks, like a couple of, dirt stocks and a couple of particle stocks, but overall you do not need that exact pack for. A lot of packs have the same stocks in them, so that's just something you want to look out for when I'm using in this tutorial. If you guys want to go ahead and purchase this, it is online for $1 on my Sellfy. This is actually going to be my new Sellfy. I'm going to try to make this one a lot more professional, so if you guys can go over to the link in the description and actually go follow this. Hopefully we can hit 100 followers today. And if you guys cannot afford this, which is $1, I am going to be releasing a full free download for everyone at 200 likes. So just make sure to like this video, share it to your friend, and get the word out. And basically, let's get right into the tutorial. So the first thing you want to do is actually head over to Google and find your own Call of Duty wallpaper. I just typed in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, and this is basically the kind of reference we're going to be basing everything off of. So I actually am going to be using this image. It's very easy to find. It's 1920 by 1080. It should pop up right away when you link it, and you guys can use like the kind of standard one, but really, in all honesty, you can use anything you want. But we're really going to be basing off our whole header off this kind of basic image right here. And of course, as I said before, this font right here is called Impact, and this is Bank Gothic, so definitely look out for me using these fonts. So let's get right into it, and what I want to do first is actually just zoom in, and we're going to do something kind of different. And I want to say this differently because it's up to you how you want to do it. And I like to do the text first, and we're gonna get the text straight out of the way because it's kind of the most important for this Twitter header, especially if you're gonna be using for a YouTube banner, Twitter header. If you guys want to learn how to do text, this is a really important step. So we're just gonna take our, font. We're gonna type in Impact and put it on the regular version, and then you can just type in your name. And I'm just gonna type in literally your name because I don't know what I want to put. You guys can put obviously your URL, your alias, or whatever you want to put. And just size it up pretty decently big because you want the text to kind of cover a good amount of this header. You don't want it to be super large or super big, but however you want it to be big enough that it's visible and it looks good. So now that we have that, we're going to add the layer style that we want to create. So this is actually really easy to make. We're going to go to blending options and go to gradient overlay. If this is not here, make sure to click the FX and then click gradient overlay yourself. And we're just going to add a simple one that's a really kind of light gray to white. And then we're also going to add a stroke, which is going to be a black stroke on the size of 1. And we're going to leave the opacity around, 5 to 1, somewhere around that range. And of course, add a drop shadow and take that size down. Move the opacity a little bit, and the distance can stay the same. Maybe the spread a little bit, and then you can mess with the size again, and you got yourself some text. So the reason why we did the text first is because it's kind of the most important. As I said before, I want the text to be done first, just so we can have stuff that we're going to work off of. Of course, in this one, I have mine a lot bigger. If you guys want to change it, all you have to do is basically highlight it all. You guys can shrink in the size of your text. Maybe put it down to like -40. And then you can make it a little bit bigger, and then you can size it there. It can look a little bit better, depends on how you do it and how big the size of the text you want. So now that we have that, we're gonna actually zoom in, and we're gonna just take this layer and hide it using this eye tool right here. Grab that background layer, zoom in, grab your pen tool, which is on the left side of the toolbar, and just pen tool basically around his arm. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're actually going to make a little cool 3D pop-out effect, and this is used a lot in AVIs for Call of Duty teams and stuff like that. So this is how I learned how to do this. I also have a very in-depth video if you guys want to go check it out on my channel. It's somewhere in my recent uploads. But basically, we're actually just gonna do the whole pen tool, right click and make a selection, then just that's it basically. And unhide that name, and then right here when you make that selection, hit Control J, it's actually going to duplicate a layer, bring that above your name, and it's actually going to bring a little arm above your text. So it looks a little bit awkward, it's not very blended in yet, so all we have to do is make a new layer, put it below that arm, grab a brush on a very small size, maybe like 60, and just kind of create a shadow. And now that you did that, grab your polygon tool, your cutout tool, and just cut out this above the guy's arm so the black shadows don't come out. And then you have, a nice gradient, so it looks like his hand is kind of sitting above that text and everything's blending in very nicely together. So now we have that done, we're actually going to want to move on to the text below that, which is going to be basically where it says Modern Warfare Remastered, or you can put your channel URL or anything. So the font we're going to be using is called Bank Gothic, and we're going to keep the text white, so we're going to just shrink that size down maybe to like 70 for now. And your text goes here. We're going to keep it very basic for this. We're just going to shrink it and size it up to the sides of the Y and the E, and just put it right there. And if we go back to my example that I made before, basically I did the whole entire kind of cool Modern Warfare text, I don't even know what to call it. So all we have to do is go to blending options and then go to outer glow. And for outer glow, here are my settings. The opacity is on normal, the spread is on 8, and the size is on 8, and I left the color kind of like a green. And the reason I did the green is because I thought it would look a lot nicer. It matches the whole entire background, stuff like that. You guys can make it any color you want, of course. It's very up to you. And I'm gonna click OK, make a new layer, and we're gonna grab that kind of same green. So just grab your little color swatch and grab that green. Maybe make that saturation a little bit thicker. Click your rectangle tool, and then you want to make a simple kind of bar. And then now what you want to do is actually zoom in, hit Control J, and bring these bars down the exact same width each one. And the reason behind that is because we're going to create our own scanline effect. If you guys do not notice or have not seen that the Modern Warfare Remastered has a very iconic scanline effect for their text, which is actually very easy to make. However, if you don't understand how to do it, then you won't know what's going on. So basically just took the rectangle, duplicated it, hitting Control J, and it's kind of made the scan lines go all together. Hit Control E, now center it out, right click, rasterize, and you can put it on different settings. I like keeping it on normal and just lowering the opacity to 50 maybe. Go to filter, blur, motion blur, and just add a motion blur on a distance of like 176. Grab your eraser tool, make sure the size isn't too much, and you might have to zoom out, or you might have to keep going in and out of this, and just erase those sides just like this. So you have your text goes here, your user URL, and you guys can of course mess with the opacity you have here. Sometimes I like to put it on soft light and put the opacity all the way up, but of course it's totally entirely up to you on how you're going to perceive and how you're going to make this text. So now we have that done, the next type of text that goes below it is going to be basically our make sure to follow, maybe some social links or whatever you want to put here. So all you have to do is go to your, sorry, my mouse stopped working. I have a Razer mouse, I don't know about any of you guys, but it stops working randomly. But I'm just going to put the word subscribe. Make sure that's white. Make it a little bit smaller. Size it up, throw that right in the middle so it matches all your text. And I'm gonna zoom in a little bit and make that spacing a little more. Maybe even grab these two texts and bring that down. Alright, and the next thing I want to do is keep that same green you've been using and actually just make a little rectangle, just like how you did for your scan lines. However, this time we're using it for the text, and we're gonna put them kind of the same distance from the S and the E, a little bit more, merge them, rasterize, and grab your eraser and just kind of erase the hard edges and stuff like that, so you have kind of these points. So you got this whole kind of cool text going on. I'm sorry that property is being up. It was really bothering me. I was just trying to get my complete thoughts down. Grab a brush now, and put the size up to like 322 and create a new layer. And what we're gonna do is actually kind of maybe bring that a little down. We're gonna create kind of a drop shadow behind that text, and we're gonna lower the opacity. And I love doing this, especially with like drawing or layering. So you're gonna make a new layer after you do that, and then put another 2 right here and lower that opacity. So you kind of have like a little drop shadow behind the guy. So the next thing we want to do is focus on where the light sources are coming from. So now we have the whole text done, and if you guys do not see these glares coming off the soldier, that means the light is probably coming down from, you know, the top right hand corner or above them. It's going to create these really nice glares and these dark shadows. So all we're going to do is go to the top, make a new layer, grab your brush and put it on a white, and white's going to be our natural light, and you guys can use different colors, but I'm going to put one little kind of click above his helmet and one on the top right hand corner to kind of create that light. And then you guys can do other things, but I'm going to keep it that way. Make another new layer and just flip these colors so you have black now, and just create one black, you know, maybe 2 or 3 clicks right here, and then click the shadow, and, you know, right next to those guys to kind of create that depth field. And now it's going to be time to open up your packs, see what's going on. In this Obey pack, I'm not going to use too much. There are like smoke stocks you guys can use, but I'm just going to use regular stocks. And I'm gonna grab these kind of particles right here. I believe these are them. Maybe I'm wrong. But, you know, go through these packs, go through what you got, and you can basically find anything you want. You know, you can just drag them into your layer. You can do whatever you want with them. I'm just gonna paste this in, put it on lighten. And I'm basically gonna have, you know, particles are gonna go above the text, above the guy, to kind of create a cool depth field. And now that I have that, I can start doing other things. I'm gonna make a new layer, go to filter, render, and go to clouds, and then click on overlay. And then I'm gonna take my eraser, and I'm just gonna erase, you know, random spots to kind of change things up a little bit. And then I can make a new layer, of course, and you guys can add like gradients and stuff like that. I'm not too much of a fan, but you know, you can add like a very radial gradient and put it on like overlay, and, you know, erase like that, so you have like a very in-depth grungy feel going towards the guy. And then lastly, what we want to do is actually go right here to this half circle, half colored, half not, and go to exposure and bring that exposure, you know, up or down depending on how you like it, and also the gamma correction to the right or left, which is going to be like the contrast. And now that you guys have this and you guys have your text and stuff that you like, you can group these all together, basically hitting the first one, hitting the last one, hitting Control G, then hit Control J, hit Control E, and then J one more time. So you pretty much merge the layers and then group them. Go to Gaussian blur, put it only at like a 1.4, and just click in random spots like you have been doing. And you got yourself a Modern Warfare Remastered Twitter header. So this is really easy to do. Now you guys know the basics, you guys can take it to your own way that you want to do things. You can even make a new layer, and this is how you kind of get that really grungy green. You're gonna make a black and literally put it on overlay, and you know, that's like the straight up Modern Warfare colors right there, like that really dark green. And you guys can change it, obviously you guys can lower the opacity, but you know, this is basically like how it's done. And it's really weird, it's really different, and you guys can really mess with things. You know, you can hit Control J on that rasterized layer they've been working on. You guys can go to like pixelate, maybe put it like a mosaic or something like that on, and you guys can like kind of mess with how you want something to go with. You know, maybe have a little pixelate in the corner, throw your own little style onto that, and maybe you want to keep it the same, maybe you don't, maybe you do. It's really up to you. But basically this is going to be it. You know, of course, since you have this one layer, just hit Control J on it a bunch of times and start messing with stuff. Like I said, you know, it's not going to hurt you to mess around, you know, figure out what, you know, distort, go to ripple, figure out what ripple is going to do to the effect, maybe make the ripple a lot, a less, and you can kind of mess with a whole bunch of effects like that. So it's really up to the designer itself on what you want to do. For me, I like leaving it alone. I think this is done really well. You guys can add your own stocks, like, you know, go to your packs, you guys can add like actual sparks, maybe some smoke or some nature stocks. It really depends on you as a designer, but this is the final outcome I got. And of course, guys, like I said, if you cannot make this, if you guys just want to go through the hassle of not making it, you can hop over to my Sellfy store and it'll be for $1 USD, and it contains the PSD file of the Modern Warfare Remastered template. This is for a Twitter header, so don't be discouraged if this is not for you for the banner. Also, I have 3 pre-mades on my website, a skull, a bear, and a tiger, so definitely go check these out if you're interested in getting a mascot logo. Lastly, for 200 likes, I will be releasing this full free to the public, so make sure you guys can like this video, share it to your friends, and get this bumping. And in honor of Call of Duty Remastered coming out today, I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading. Make sure you stay tuned on Sunday for my top 5 to get the explanation why. Other than that, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up, comment below, message me on Twitter, show me what you guys are making, and I hope to see you guys later on. Peace out.